I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks that just a trucking down.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Challenge 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. In the studio this morning, we got Jim White, Brother Dave White, Super Dave, and our very special guest, Dustin Romero Jr. Good morning, man.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dustin, you are the Patriot, so why don't you kick us off with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was strong. Thank you. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we'll all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. Excuse me. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything Dustin says today is not our opinion. It's just his expressed opinion. Episode 146 had 247 downloads. We did hit 80,000 total downloads, and we have 625 followers.
Right on.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Well, Super Dave, you are chomping at the bit to tell your dad joke this morning, so why don't you kick it off?
I'm going to kick it off, huh?
Kick
All
it
right.
off, buddy.
I'm ready.
We'll go counterclockwise.
You guys are going to laugh so hard.
You're already laughing and you got to it.
No. So this one's about the three bulls, and they heard the rancher was bringing another bull onto the ranch. Okay, so three bulls. The first bull said, "I've been here 5 years, and I'm not giving this new bull any of my 100 cows." And the second bull says, "I've been here 3 years, and I've earned my right to 50 cows. I'm keeping all of my cows." And the third bull says, "Well, I've only been here a year, and so far you guys have only let me have 10 cows. And I may not be as big as you fellows, but I'm keeping all 10 of my cows." Just then, an 18-wheeler pulls up in the pasture carrying the biggest bull they've ever seen. At 4,700 pounds, each step he takes strains the steel ramp. First bull says, "I think I could spare a few cows for our new friend." And the second bull says, "I actually have too many cows to take care of. I can spare a few. I'm certainly not looking for an argument." Then they look over at the third bull and find him pawing the dirt, shaking his horns and snorting. The first bull, "Son, don't be foolish. Let them have some of your cows and live to tell about it." Third bull, "Hell, he can have all my cows. I'm just making sure he knows I'm a bull."
That was a good one, Dave. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep up with the wildlife. Do you guys know the best way to watch a fishing tournament? Live stream it.
Ooh. Like it.
I was going to say from the boat, but
And then I'll finish with like a snack while you're fishing or hunting or something. What did the pepperoni say when it walked out of the hospital?
Don't know.
"I'm cured."
I like it.
Told you that was one of my jokes about salt.
There you go.
okay, my turn. A pastor's wife was expecting a baby, so he stood before the congregation and asked for a raise. After much discussion,
They passed the rule that whenever the preacher's family expanded, so would his paycheck. After 6 children, this started to get expensive, and the congregation decided to hold another meeting to discuss the preacher's expanding salary. A great deal of yelling and inner bickering ensued as to how much the clergyman's additional children were costing the church, and how much more it could potentially cost. After listening to them for about an hour, the pastor rose from the chair and spoke. "Children are the gift from God, and we will take as many gifts as He gives us." Silence fell upon the congregation. In the back pew, a little old lady struggled to stand and finally said in a frail voice, "Rain is also a gift from God, but when we get too much of it, we wear rubbers." And the whole congregation, amen.
Whoa.
Morning, Dustin.
Good morning.
Can you follow those 3 jokes?
I don't know. So I made a chicken salad yesterday. Turns out they prefer grain.
I like it. That's a good one. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
So most of you guys in the room are probably more Led Zeppelin than Metallica. Are you a Metallica fan?
Yeah.
You all know who James Hetfield is? The lead
From
singer?
Metallica?
Yeah, the
No.
lead singer of Metallica. So if he officiated Kermit and Miss Piggy's wedding, do you know what he would be? A pastor of Muppets.
That's a good one.
When I was driving home, I seen this dude standing on one leg at the ATM the other day. He was just checking his balance. New employees. We got Ed Shoemaker and Emilio Silva. Welcome to the fleet, man.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome you guys.
Yep. Celebrations. Tony Martinez and Ataya have a new baby boy, Francisco Mateo Martinez Coleman. He was born on the 21st at 1:30 a.m. And his stats, 6 pounds, 3 ounces.
Nice.
They also wanted to thank the JFW family for the support. Then Rick Ray, he has a brand new granddaughter, Riley Jane. She was born on Saturday the 24th, and her stats, 8 pounds, 1 ounce, and I guess the 22 is 22 inches long.
That's healthy.
Yeah,
It's a healthy kid.
good stats,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. She could have almost walked home.
Right?
We had the way to do it, Jam. Would be fighting in this corner,
Right. Yeah.
weighing in at.
Dustin, I bet your baby's going to have good stats.
Probably. I'm gonna have a big baby.
Anniversaries. Gerardo Sanchez hit 3 years this past Sunday. Matt Gell Sr. hit 1 year today. Can you believe Matt Gell's been here 1 year?
Right.
I feel like he just walked in the door yesterday.
Yeah.
Russ Murphy, he's got 4 years coming up this Sunday
Nice.
for his
Congratulations,
last
Congrats.
for his last stint here at JFW. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you all heard Russ Murphy on the company radio the other day.
We did hear Murphy on the company
Made a
radio.
bit of a splash.
He was expressing himself.
Yeah, expressed
His inner
opinion.
self, outwardly.
Yeah, that was his outside voice, and he didn't mean that.
No,
No, he meant it.
Yeah, he did. I just didn't know
Yeah.
anybody was listening.
He just didn't mean
Radio
for.
broadcast.
the note is to make sure your mic's on key.
Yeah.
As he always says, note to self.
Yep.
Birthdays. Mike Boritz has a birthday, or had a birthday, I should say, this past Sunday, the 25th.
Oh, happy late birthday, Mike.
And MJ Johnson has a birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, guys.
Yeah. Family birthday celebrations. Jesse Rodabah's daughter Aiden had a birthday last Saturday. Jesse Rodabah's son Peyton has a birthday on Sunday. Ron's fiance Kiana had a birthday yesterday. CC's significant other Jess had a birthday yesterday. Rich Trujillo's wife Joni has a birthday tomorrow. And Jack Domenico's wife Lori has a birthday on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
everybody.
Yeah, lots of birthdays this week.
Yeah.
And it's my grandma's birthday today.
Hey, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday,
yeah.
Grandma.
The matriarch.
I wonder what event in Jesse's life backs up 9 months ago to have a son and a daughter within the same week.
Right.
Once a year he gets lucky.
Yeah. There you go, brother.
Georgie's wife, Mariam, she sent us a very nice thank you card. So thank you for the thank you card, Mariam. And then we got our shout outs. Shout out to Chili Dog and Melissa for stopping in yesterday. He is shooting for an October return.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I had heard November, so when you said it,
man, those rumors.
I'm like, wow. Good
Those rumors get started, and
Yeah.
next
He
thing
just
you
got
know.
released to be full weight bearing yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't believe it though, did he?
No, I was like, you need to walk on that thing,
He
man.
was using those crutches.
Right? Give me those crutches.
I got a crutch. But it was really good to see that, man.
It was awesome to
It
see.
was, yeah.
10 more weeks, they're going to be having a baby.
Yep. Expecting a Halloween baby.
Yep.
Yep.
A little, I think it's a boy named Frankie, they said.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
Francisco Allen Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be one more name in there. I don't know. Fred Powell, if you haven't heard, Fred Powell is leaving JFW to go on and do something else, and he just wanted to thank the entire JFW family for everything they've done for me and the opportunity to work with such a great group of people. I'm going to miss this place for sure. So we're going to miss you,
Gonna
Freddie.
miss you
Yeah,
too, Fred.
yeah. Good luck, Freddie.
Yeah.
Stand up guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wish you the
he's-
best.
Been a good member of the family for
Yep.
several years now.
Yep.
I asked Freddie, I was like, you think they're going to have a party for you on your 1 year anniversary? And he's like, I don't know. Do you guys remember that party we had up here
Yep,
for Fred?
sure do.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Moore wants to give a shout out to 0063 Mike Cisneros for helping him input Rebel tickets into Toro and showing him some shortcuts. He also wants to thank Scooby for helping him change a mud flap yesterday morning. So,
Nice.
thank you guys.
Yeah, he's been having to bounce from truck to truck and
Yeah,
do all sorts of stuff. So good job, John. There's
Yeah.
a shout out to John.
little adversity.
Another MTM saga, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, not the MTM.
Another transmission issue.
Huh. You guys got any shout outs?
Just gave one to John.
Does anyone else in this room besides Brother Dave have a shout out?
Yeah, I have a shout out. I want to shout out to all the guys in the shop, especially on nights, because I know it's been tough lately. We've been getting flooded with work, and we've been trying to push through it and try our best. So keep it up, guys.
Nice.
Ditto, man.
Yeah.
We always talk about the night crew just being magic. Right?
Yeah.
We leave at night and all this shit's broken, and we come in the morning and it's like, poof, mysteriously it's fixed, Dustin. We talk about that all the time, man. And I think sometimes some people take that for granted. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
don't realize what we get done at night, what you guys get done at night. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I think a lot of it is taken for granted, Dave. You know, the drivers really are lucky. You know, all they have to do is identify it and write it up.
Right.
Say, I've got a problem, write it up. And boy, they come in and it's all set to go. And I mean, they go to work in the morning. No headaches, no worries. All they have to do is check it and make sure it's been repaired. If it's not, they need to write it up again.
And that's a big shout out to John, because John keeps us afloat, really, and he knows what to give people, knows what to do, and never seems stressed either with the amount of work we've had lately. And a big shout out to John.
I think the mechanics are the lucky ones, that the drivers go out and break things. This way they have something to do at night. If it wasn't broken, you don't get to fix it. So you're welcome.
Yeah, I can.
Jam, it would be nice to do some service work. Maybe the shop wouldn't be so jammed if we didn't break or hit so much shit. It would be nice to do some service work and keep up on the fleet rather than break shit and fix it.
Dustin, I can guarantee you John does get stressed.
He just carries it well.
He does carry it well.
All right. If you guys don't have any more shout outs, we'll move on to the discussion. Yesterday was a big day for JFW. We received the Platinum Motor Carrier Safety Award for 2023 from Great West Casualty. Woohoo!
It's funny when those guys come in because it was a really special award, Jam, and and it's based on mileage and your percentage and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a big deal, and that's an award for everybody, especially the drivers Dave's just talking about. If we'd quit crashing and hitting stuff and things like that, but it's back to hitting that gate once, but all the miles we put on without damage, and it shows, and that's part of the award is, the small amount of accidents we have per mileage. But when you bring that up, we've got another award, or not another award, but we got the discount from Pinnacle, and that's the work comp. And I just never really like talking about it because I don't want to jinx us. We're doing fine. Mm-hmm. Everything's good. Congratulations everybody. Let's just keep humming along and not brag about it, I guess. Things happen.
Yeah, it is somewhat prestigious. So I think, what did they say? The top 5% of platinum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of their carriers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know how many companies that is?
Not somebody else's carriers?
I don't, Dave.
Of their carriers.
Yeah, I just know Great West that's all they do is trucking.
Trucks.
And they are big, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the conversations we had up here with Great West was they were talking about an oil field company down in Texas, and this wasn't a big truck company. It was just an oil field company, and one of their managers, the managers had company vehicles, and they had cell phone policies in place like we do. People signed these agreements that they wouldn't text to be distracted and drive. Well, anyway, one of their managers got into an accident in the company pickup truck. And turned out, through the investigation, they figured out he was distracted by his mobile phone. And the lawyer for the lady that they hit, that he hit, she didn't die. She was injured, though. Her lawyer was able to prove that not only has he been using his phone and being distracted while driving a company vehicle, they brought up 100 or 200 other instances where other managers were distracted while driving their company vehicles. This lawyer got a $135 million verdict against the oil field company. $135 million, and shut him down. So, with all the cell phone stuff we've been talking about lately and our distracted driving campaign versus pandemic, I thought that would be a interesting thing to talk about today.
Yeah, that's a great one, and I know you said it shut them down because they couldn't pay the fine.
Right.
It didn't shut them down. I just want to make that clear that they
went out of business.
Nobody has the money.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay it.
Right.
So even though they got the verdict, it just put all the people out of business. All the families, the owners, all that kind of stuff, and maybe there was something, but the lady probably didn't get anything out of it because they put the company out of business.
Right.
There's no future there. So
right.
Yeah, and it's we talked about it. It's all about being defendable and everything we do, and the cell phone use, and you get an award like that, and you look at it and you're just like, hey, we have to keep this up. The bar is set really high right now, and part of it's cell phone use. And just so you guys know, so Great West Casualty, they insure more than 40,000 trucking companies, Dave.
Oh, wow.
So the 5% of their customers is pretty damn fucking good. So just to clarify,
40,000.
40,000.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, it's I guess when we harp on the stuff, Jam, and we talk about this stuff, and obviously Dave made an announcement yesterday morning that was it Tuesday or Monday. We just had that rash of cell phone use and have people on video, and it's a lot of the stuff too is when we have the cell phone use, it's where the drivers have chosen to use the phones, whether it's going downhill like Crow Hill, and you should be paying attention to going downhill in case something happens or things like that. It doesn't matter that it's at 25 mile an hour. It's whether you're covering that white line or the yellow line. The other one was out on I-76 and ran up on a car with the four ways flashing and had to do an abrupt lane change, and there's no way that the driver had time to look beside him to see what was beside him. He just jerked the wheel and got into the fast lane. And the other one, it's the other one I can think of is the driver's texting, and when he looks up he has to jerk the wheel back again so they don't hit the curb. And it's just, that's distracted driving, you guys, and we have to stay upon that. And I say cell phone and I say texting, it's distracted. It's anything to do with that phone. Whether you're listening to music, you're looking for, mapping, Googles, stuff like that. And, we all joked yesterday when we talked about it, we've heard the excuse, we're using my mapping. You don't know where plant 12 is?
Right.
And then you get, I was looking at the traffic. The traffic's what it is going out to plant 12. Across 270, down Tower, unless the road's closed, it is what it is. We do the same thing day after day. And you might save yourself 15 minutes, but it's not going to make a big difference during the day.
You could always get a traffic report on that company radio, too. That's how we used to do it.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's 270 looking like right now? Anybody got eyes on that,
Yep.
So, Dustin, you are a young CDL holder. You just got your CDL, even though you're currently a night mechanic here. This is actually an interview for a driving job, just so you know. Just kidding. But what's your thoughts? Because you were are you 20 now?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Okay, so you're 20. You grew up with electronics. You also a CDL holder. How do you feel about CDL holders using their phones while they're driving?
I don't know. It makes me nervous because, like, there's so much going on, and especially if you're loaded or even driving the truck anyway, like, there's so many what ifs that could happen. Like, I don't know. It would make me very, very nervous.
What do you do in your personal vehicle to prevent you from using your phone? Anything, or do you use it?
I put it as far away as I can in, like, my backpack or something.
Okay. Well, that's a good strategy. I like that.
Yeah, I think the misconception, Jam, and maybe Dustin, like you said, you put it in your backpack, so it's not a temptation. But I think there's that misconception of I can do it. I can handle this.
Yeah, the guy in the 8-second video, he thought he could do it.
Yeah, and I think that's where the downfall of a lot of the use is I can do it. It's okay, and it's just not. And I know Dustin probably from listening to the podcast, but the what if, you guys, and you preach about it and you preach about it, but the what if is there every day. I mean, it can be the other person that's on the cell phone beside you.
Yep.
That's the what if, and you guys all see that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, the big what if is even if you can do it and something happens because it's not your fault,
Right.
but you were on your phone when it happened, well, guess what, buddy?
Yeah, you then become responsible.
You got a big problem on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even remember, so we had a lady, she tried to commit suicide in front of one of our trucks during COVID. They blamed COVID psychosis for this. Our driver did nothing wrong. There was witnesses, and we ended up showing the police the outward-facing video. This is what happened. And the inward, right? For 1 minute, like before the accident. Well, they requested 5 minutes. They wanted 5 minutes of footage, before the accident. And it was just like, what do you possibly need that for?
Right.
But they wanted to make sure our driver was doing the right thing. Even though a lady ran out in front of the truck. She lived, by the way. The truck broke down. He did a great job. He wasn't distracted. He was paying attention. He swerved. I mean, she ended up getting injured, but he definitely saved her life. But they wanted 5 more minutes. They wanted to see what he was doing for 5 minutes. I don't know if they had the right to see that or not, but we sent it to him because the guy was doing the right thing. He was on the money. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like very long, but 5 minutes is a long time of driving.
It is.
I'm more than halfway home in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, how many seconds? I'm saying the 8-second video. Was that 4 seconds or 5 seconds the guy had his head down, or was it true? Oh, I guess it was 8 seconds.
It was 8 seconds.
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes is a long time compared to 8 seconds.
Yeah, big time. I'm sure a lot of you heard about the accident on I-70 and Wheat Ridge last week. That's kind of through the construction area. They have like these S-curves in there now due to the construction. Speed limit, I think, was 60 miles an hour going through there. Not too far away from where the guy came down the hill and killed those people a few years back, right? That was like the Ward Road area, right? Well, CDOT is actually lowering the speed through there to 55 miles an hour in hopes to prevent another accident like that. So,
I think, like Chris Beam said several weeks ago, it should be 45.
yeah, I mean, to me, if it's 60,
Is 5 really a big deal?
Yeah, if
Like,
it's-
that's going to fix their problem?
yeah, if it's 60, people are doing 65, yeah, that should be like 45, 50 mile an hour through there, so. But as a commercial motor vehicle driver, right, you should know those speed limit signs are suggestions for cars. You know what I mean? That's not what the big trucks should be doing, right?
Yeah, that I don't know if you've seen it yet, Jim, because you're getting ready for the podcast, but we got a Google review, business review on us last night, and
Okay.
we only got 1 star.
Oh.
And the review is because JFW trucks drive painfully slow and won't move out of the way, pull over and move out of the way.
That one was a few weeks old, I think.
Was it? It just
Yeah.
popped up on my
Oh, really?
email. Yeah.
Yeah, it said like there was a line of cars behind them, or is it? No, is it
There
another
was
one?
just unless I didn't open it up all the way, Jam. But
I'll
yeah.
take a look. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
I mean, I joked with everybody. It's nice to be. We were painfully slow.
Yeah,
So were we?
Provided we were in the slow lane.
Yeah, not
Hopefully
down
not in-
85. Yeah.
hopefully not in
yeah,
the left lane,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. But it acted like we needed to pull over. I kind of
Right,
felt
pull
from
over the shoulder. not-
Yeah,
not
yeah,
get
more
out
like it
fast
was
lane.
possibly 285 or something like that where we were at. But at least we weren't going painfully fast.
Yeah, all I can say is, hey, we drive the speed limit, and maybe they should too.
So here it is. JFW trucks clog the roads going painfully slow and don't pull off to let other drivers pass. This morning I got stuck behind 4 of these trucks going north on 285 at 25 mile an hour at times, and saw at least a dozen more. Each time I was finally able to pass a JFW truck after being stuck behind it for 20 plus minutes, I get stuck behind another one just a few minutes later. Oh,
They were loaded coming out of Fairplay.
yeah. Yeah, so we did have another one a month ago on July 3rd. 285, guys loaded, had a line of 50 plus cars behind them doing 40. Doesn't use any pull-offs, let traffic go by. Total D-bag. So, hey, those aren't that bad.
Right? Good problem to have.
Yeah,
It is a good problem.
Keep
to
up the
have.
good work.
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Break week for, what is that, the CVSA? Is that what it's called? Is that who puts that on?
Commercial Vehicle Safety Association.
Yeah. So break week's going on through the end of the week, the 31st. Inspectors will focus on condition of brake linings and pads. Brake lining and pad issues may result in vehicle violations and can affect the motor carrier's safety rating. Commercial motor vehicles found to have brake-related out-of-service violations will be removed from the roadways until these violations are corrected. So check your brakes, folks. We'll
Yeah.
get, you have a lot to say about
Yeah,
that.
I do.
Yeah, jump in there. Let's go.
So last night, Mikey told us to have John go check all the brakes just in case. And from our yard, we had how many? We had 13 trucks that needed brakes.
Wow.
So it was just crazy. And 3 of those trucks were metal to metal. We caught them right before the rotors got bad. So we need, I don't know, like, I would be checking those out every day. Like, I would be getting under the truck and at least checking them because this is important. Because we've been doing, like, rotor after rotor, it seems like, lately. And it's starting to get a little crazy. And now that it's Blitz Week and we have 13 trucks just from our yard, is crazy. Like,
So let me ask you this, Dustin. I have a lot of drivers ask me, how do you check your disc brake pads? Could you tell us how to do that?
it's hard to explain for the truck because there's notches on the caliper, but it's very hard to explain. But the trailer is very simple. You just go to the back of your trailer, lift up the mud flaps, and you can visually see them right there. And if you don't know what to look at, just come get one of us, one of the mechanics, and we'll be happy to show you.
On those 13 trucks, was it mostly tractors or trailers?
It was a mixture,
Was it?
but it was mostly the trucks. And then at yard 23, there was 12 trucks that
wow.
needed brakes, so 25 in all.
So you guys did 25 breaks last night.
Well, we did the ones that needed it very bad, but we're going to be hitting brakes very hard this week.
Well, the week's almost over, so got to get on it.
Yep.
Dustin, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How often do you guys see the trucks in the shop for service?
Well, usually we would see them every 2 to 3 weeks, but since we've been so flooded, we see them at least once a month now. And it's getting a little scary because we pull trucks in and we're catching stuff that the drivers should, and it's getting a little crazy.
Like what?
Like tires. They're letting their tires get low. The depth.
What's
tread
the depth allowed to be?
It's DOT is 30 seconds, but we catch them at 4 just in case. But
And clarify, that's drive tires and trailer tires.
yeah, in the steers we catch at 6, but they should be 4.
Correct.
But it's been getting crazy. I've pulled trucks in that I'm doing, not even supposed to be looking at the tires, and I'll walk by and I'll check the depth, and they're at like 1, like they're basically bald, and I'll do them because I know I have to. But it's crazy that these drivers, I know they're supposed to smack them, like go check the pressure every day, and I would think that if you like see the bald tire, you would ride it up. But
They have to look at the tire to hit it
Yeah,
with the
I
hammer,
don't
right?
I mean, when we run into that, Dustin, that's the reason, like, if we have them run it for the day, unless it is bald or cord showing, not DOT, but if you're at that close on the 30 seconds, that tire didn't go boof and get to 230 seconds, like you said.
Yeah.
We've been bumping it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Right.
I mean, the average tire life of our drive tires is what, 150,000, Dave?
125 is what we should be.
Right. So, and that's close. That's over a year's worth of running.
Right.
That you've been bumping that tire. That's the crazy thing. And we've been doing a lot of, trading out of this driver's off, that driver's out. Well, then that becomes your ship. Look at it. If you're going to be in it for that day or for an hour, look at your ship. Make sure it's ready to go. And then if you see the tire go, and let's say it is 430 seconds, write it up anyway. Even if I'm not in that truck tomorrow, or you think the other driver wrote it up, write it up. Help you guys out. It's we preach that it's together. It's a family. We got to make this work. Later in here, I want to talk about, I think, part of our brake wear problem that we're running into, because really we're driving the truck as a car and overusing the brakes. We're not using the Jake brake like it should be used, and I think that's a big deal. I watched Chris Beam come in here the other day at a front tire going low, and really he's in a hurry. He said, "Hey, every light I was kind of worried at where the pressure was on the front steer, trying to make it in here." But he jaked all the way down to the driveway and came in. It wasn't like, "Oh my God, I got a tire coming down," and bounced through the driveway and tore up through the driveway. He was here. He did it the right way. Used the jake, and I bet that truck, he's been in it since it's new. I bet the brakes look brand new on that truck.
I bet you're right.
And we have to start using the tools we have and not abusing them how they're not supposed to be used.
Dustin, what's the shop's criteria on brakes when you have a truck in and you look at the brake shoes on it, and what's your criteria when they need changed, or if it can go to the next service?
So there's a metal clip on the brake pad, and if it gets, I don't know, like if it's almost touching that metal clip, I'll do them. But lately we've been doing a little past the metal clip just to make sure, because it's just been crazy with the brakes, and I don't know, we're just trying to save not having to do rotors, so we're catching them before. But It's been crazy.
So my question is, like, we should be seeing a truck every 2 weeks. I mean, that's the plan,
Yeah.
right? We may go 3 weeks. I mean, if you say we've gone a month, I mean, that's got to be on a few rare trucks.
Yeah.
Certainly not the fleet. I mean, I know that for a fact, right? So I guess, how do we miss looking at a brake shoe while it's in here for service, that the brake shoe is so low it can't go 3 more weeks?
See?
If you have a truck in and you're doing a service on it and you look at those shoes and you go, oh, these will easily go 3 more weeks. Or you look at it and go, well, these need to be changed, right? So how did we have 25 trucks that needed changed in an emergency?
You know, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to blame anybody. I don't. That's
We're not looking for any blame. We're not.
I want
But
names.
John has taught us and drilled it into us, like, you have to do these breaks at this measurement or else, like, this is your job on the line.
You can't go past.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. You can't
'Cause-
go past.
Even if we think it's okay, or I know John's looking every time he passes too, at every truck, and if we think they're low or almost there, I still get John anyway just to make sure. But yeah, like,
I guess my question is, because you said you had 4, or like they were emergency, like we had to do them last night.
Yeah.
They wouldn't run one more day. Well, if we saw that truck 2 weeks ago, how's that possible?
we actually saw one truck a month ago,
Okay.
and we did all brakes, and it got to that because it was in for a short, and the brakes were still 5/8, and the front axle got metal to metal, and we did
In 1 month's time.
because we did all the trailer brakes, and I think we did 3 rotors on that truck or trailer, and John said they're already at a little below half life for
On the
brake.
trailer?
Yeah, on the trailer.
After 1 month.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do at that point? Because what do you think? Do you think there's a problem then?
I don't.
Do you think there's an issue with the driver if he smoked through a set of brakes in
Yes.
1 month?
I think.
What
yes.
do you guys do?
I mean,
What's the protocol?
we
Just
check.
replace the brakes?
Yeah, we check everything. We make sure the caliper is still working good, and
Would it be a good idea to let the safety team know we've got a driver that just ate through a set of brakes in 1 month, in 30 days?
yeah,
Because those brakes should go 150 or 200,000 miles. Mm-hmm. And if we have that happening, there is possibility that it could be something mechanical if it's only on the trailer or only on the tractor or only on one axle. I mean, Chewy Varela, when he was in one of the Freightliners we used to have, he proved that to us. He knew there was something wrong with those brakes. And he's like, I'm not overdriving the truck. And we found a brake problem there. And Chewy to this day has rock star status for me because he identified that, right? He was engaged. But I guess my point is, okay, so the shop's doing their part in replacing it, but do we need to go the next step and go, hey, someone needs to talk to this driver. We need to find out what's going on. How are we smoking through a set of brakes in 30 days?
yeah.
I mean, oh my God. I hear that and I'm like, oh my God. That's not even freaking possible. So we got a problem, right? Like somebody's pulling the Johnny bar and putting 10 pounds pressure on it and freaking driving around all day. Is my 2 cents. You know what I mean? They've bumped it with the mic or their whatever, and that's not even possible with the pinch valves anymore.
Yeah.
I still call it a Johnny bar, but they're pinch valves. That's not even possible anymore. So I don't know.
But overdriving that truck's possible, Dave.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You
never.
can overdrive those trucks to no end.
Yeah. Just drive it like a car. You just let off the fuel and hit the brakes when you get to the light. Get to the stop sign. There's no letting the truck gear down. There's no.
Jim, every day when
Engine
we're
brake.
out, the little bit we're out, we look at a truck coming to an intersection. It's like, is he going to stop? Is he going to stop? He just hauls ass up there like he's in a Honda Accord and slams on the brakes and stops. And it's like, wow, not a cool driver. Not a cool driver at all, man. I mean, our shit was so old and we were so heavy and everything was broke on it, man. You stopped you were timing that light. The last thing you wanted to do was have to stop at that light. Now we watch drivers like get to the light faster so they can stop sooner, so they can take off sooner. That's just how badass the equipment is.
They're driving it like their cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just how badass the equipment is. And it sucks. You know, and the one thing Jim and I have said for 25 years, 30 years, brakes are cheap, right? But when you have to go to replacing drums and rotors and all the things that go with them, brake pads are cheap. But if you got somebody abusing that truck and tearing it up and costing us the rotors and stuff, they need a lesson. They need a lesson in driving. They need to be taught how to roll up to those lights from afar using your engine brake. I mean, we talk about it almost every week. Use that engine brake. I mean, it's in here in this week, right? We talk about, and those engine brakes are badass on these trucks.
Yeah, they're so good they're irritating.
Yes, when you're empty, they're too aggressive.
Yes, they're
Right?
irritating. But
So
they're-
are we just kicking it off and using the brakes?
Exactly. I think that's what happens.
Right?
Yeah. Don't drop it to 1 or 2 or 3 or
Yeah.
hold it in a gear or whatever. Yeah, there's so much that's not being done and we're sitting here preaching about it, but it's obvious it's not being done. We have a problem. It's like the cell phone. Oh, nobody's using a cell phone. Yeah, we have video after video after video of people using a cell phone. Dustin saying he seen a truck a month ago and brings it in and the brakes are half gone. That's a problem. There's something we need to do.
Especially when they should go 18 months
Yep.
on a set of brakes.
Yep. Yeah, especially like you said, Dave, with the transmission and the engine brakes we have.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Jim, you want to take this next one on the key cycling?
Yeah, I think it's still an ongoing problem. I catch guys at the fuel island in the morning or in the afternoon there, or they'll pull over and stop by where they park or stuff, and the truck will shut off, and I see them jump back in, and I know the truck didn't cycle. And even for myself, when I jump in one of the trucks, to let that key cycle is a pain in the butt. It seems like it's forever, and it has to be maybe like 20 seconds is all. But I know I was just talking to Mikey, and when Mike gets up in the morning, he goes through all the truck alerts in his phone. And he said any alert around 5 or 5:30, he just throws it out because he says he absolutely knows that's a key fault and the driver didn't let the truck cycle through there. And he has to ignore all the faults. And I think there's just a point here where we can help ourselves and you can help yourself if you let that key cycle. And don't let that truck create a fault. Let it go through and check the system. Let it check the def. Let it check the regen. Let it check the ABS. Let it check all that stuff. I think it's Big Country's truck's down, or maybe they got it back going, but he lost, I don't know, COM 1, COM 2 computer, which runs 6 other computers on the frame, and I don't know whether it was a Kenworth or a Peterbilt. I don't remember which one he has, but they actually told Mikey because it had a code for the dash, and they were like, absolutely don't clear that code, because he said with that code, that means you also need a new dash. It's taking the dash out.
They did take it to Kenworth.
Kenworth, and so that stuff's important. And I'm not saying that happened because of the cycling the key, but I'm just trying to get to the point that everything is ran by a computer, and it's all based on voltage. And if you don't let the engine go through and check itself, we have all these faults, and it might throw a fault that shows up later in the day because you've timed out of that fault. So it's important to let that key cycle. I think the same thing with the shift stocks. We're having trouble getting parts for the automatic transmissions, and the more videos I see of the cell phone use or the situations, man, guys are just working those shift stocks. They're just tearing them up, and it's not a nice shift. It's like, oh, let's shift, or hit it here, hit it there.
It's a bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, and they're not meant to do that, you guys. It can be ran in a manual mode for, I don't know, for the snow, a certain situation in the mud. You don't want it to shift, things like that. But it's an automatic transmission. Those shift stocks and that ATM are not meant, or MTM is not made to do that. It's not made to be driven manually. And I think you could save
all day long.
All day long.
Yeah.
12 hours a day, all day
Right?
long. It's just
Yeah.
not made for that kind of nobody expected drivers to go out and hand shift that all day long.
Right.
Right. When we had the 13 speed to the manual transmissions and we would road test people for interviews, I mean, right away you could tell the difference in drivers. Some of them could actually be gentle with the truck, even though it's a big truck. They're shifting gently, right? And other people, I mean, they're sweating their asses off trying to get the truck to move. Like, you could still be gentle with the automatics as well.
Right.
You know, shifting it hard isn't going to, using that shift stock and slamming it isn't going to make it faster than if you do it gently.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're having to hit the shift stock hard for it to make a shift, that's because it's been broke or is broke or been abused in the first place. You know?
Although it's still
which
on,
one gets better fuel mileage?
I have my own theory on that. Are those shift stocks, are they still on national back order, or have they solved that problem?
Jam, they're so tough to get. There's actually an independent company that started rebuilding them in Texas.
Oh, wow.
And it's not a great success rate either.
Right.
You know, and the shift stocks, when we can get them, they're like $600.
Wow.
You know, they're ridiculous.
Crazy.
I was doing an interview the other day with a military dude, and we were talking about something like that, something along the topic we're talking about right now as far as being smooth and efficient and that. And he goes, the Army has a saying, smooth is fast and fast is smooth.
Mm-hmm. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Okay,
There you go.
same thing, but
Same
it rings true. You know, I mean, when we were driving in the old days, shifting an 18 speed or whatever, the coolest thing was to watch a guy come off of the stoplight and his stacks don't tip from center to side. And he's going through every single gear and the truck does not like lurch.
And his airbags didn't arch
It's
up
just
forward.
so smooth.
Was
And
it,
you know that guy's a good driver.
now, was this a military guy that like bombed the drive test because he was driving too fast?
No,
That was
that's
a different guy.
Yeah, you see those, I get all trucks, but a lot of times it's an independent owner, and man, they're just, the stacks are banging off the blacktop, and you know, like you said, Dave, the airbags are, you know, all the way up because it's
Stretched out
taking
4 inches.
as much torque as they can put to that, and then the thing is they catch the car in front of them, and you're just like, where were you going?
You look good, driver.
Yeah, you know.
Professional.
Yeah, so help yourself out, you guys, because you just might be broke down less. You might be more relaxed. Less is more here in this, but you know, just let the truck do the work. Quit shifting it. You are not going to make a load up. You know, you're just not going to get another load. It's just not going to happen by hand shifting that truck. And you know, use the Jake brakes or the engine brake. You know, whatever you want to call it. And save some brakes. Be professional, and that, you know, even if you're not here, you go someplace else, you buy your own truck. What we're giving you is you're going to be successful at the next company, and you will really be successful with your truck you're owning, because that's all dollars out of your pocket if you save those brakes and everything else. If that's your goal.
Yeah, you own your own truck, you're damn sure going to learn how to drive.
Oh yeah, yeah. You won't want
Or
it in
you
the
won't
shop.
keep
You'll
owning
quit
your own
using
truck.
the shift stock because you won't want it in being fixed under warranty for a week.
Right.
You know, how easy have you changed one of the shift stocks?
Yeah, they're not easy because that wire goes like through all the way to the steering column, yeah, and then it's in the bottom of that dash, like tucked all the way down there. So you just have barely enough room to get it unclipped and clipped again. But it's a pain in the ass to get all of that. It's just not fun.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so help us out and help you guys. If you're not broke down and just trucking, you know, you're making more money and we're making more money, you guys. And it's not, you know, you're not have to spend the time on the radio calling into the shop and, you know, the possibility of the, you know, a key reset or sitting alongside the road or waiting for a tow or all that kind of stuff, guys. So we're asking for some help here. Let's make the trucks last as long as we can.
Amen. Also, engine brake usage needs to increase. We've been talking about brakes. Part of the brake problem, and we were talking about Chris Beam earlier, is you're not jaking enough. Use that engine brake. Use that engine brake to slow down and, you know, start slowing down early.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, we just talked about it. It doesn't have to be on max. You know, that's a movement you can make, which is also on the ship stock.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some more use of it. But I mean, when I just told everybody I drove 17 a few weeks ago and roll up there as a tandem, and it still weighs quite a bit. But you have it max and you're empty, and it tries to make the shift and brings you to a stop, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. You know, and it's violent. It's like, I don't, the drive shafts are all banging loose when it finally kicks itself out of gear and all that stuff. So,
but that's when you can put it in manual, and instead of getting 6 downshifts, you just do 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and
or
it's a click, 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 and you're cool, man. God dang, you're cool.
Yeah, I just switched it. I'm calling it one head. Whatever the position is on the deal, old school.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're loaded, it's still trying to do it abusively, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Another thing we ran into the other day is we had pretty much a brand new tire. Driver ran it flat and then just broke the belting on the inside of the tire, so that tire was no good. If you get a flat tire, you need to get pulled over and call the shop right away. Don't go down the road too far, because once it gets that rookie ring on the inside, that tire is not good anymore. If the shop wasn't aware of that and they put it on somebody else's truck, that would be a blowout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it will blow out. And it's probably, too, Jam, before it starts to do that treaded design inside, it's not treaded. I don't know what you call it. It's a spiral, how it lets go of itself inside. But I'm sure there's a lot of tires that you don't see that. It's on the verge of that starting, and it's been hot, and that tire is not going to make it. It's to that point where it starts. So, yeah, you got to bump those tires, check them every load. Check them when you dump. Check them, as you're getting loaded. Check, look at the stuff in the mirrors. You can see a tire bulge in the mirror. There's all sorts of tricks to do that.
Yep. Biggest trick is paying attention.
Yep. Hardest trick.
Yeah. Well, here's something that maybe some people aren't paying attention about, or maybe it's being done intentionally. But Jim, you brought up that we have 10 people that have opted out of having federal taxes taken out of their paychecks. That just sounds like a terrible idea to me. Oh my gosh.
Scares me.
As much as I don't want to give the government my money, they're going to get their money.
Yeah, because we as a business, we've been behind in our taxes, and I know some people have been behind in their taxes personally, and it's a bitch to get caught up, right? It's something that's not good. But I think what's happening is Paycom is so adaptable or tries to be employee friendly that it asks you all these questions as you're setting up and a new person, or if you want to make an adjustment in your paycheck, you can go through all the settings. And I think how it asks you, and hopefully somebody can email me or send Jam an email for next week, but it asks, are you exempt from taxes? And I think they think you get more taxes. I think it's a thought of, I everybody takes regular taxes. I'm exempt for more taxes, like a special tax. And when you exempt yourself from taxes in Paycom, it allows you to stop. It shuts off the federal taxes. I don't know about Colorado. I just know federal taxes, and and then at the end of the year, when you go get your W-2 done and you go in and get your taxes done, your tax person's going to go, hey, you owe, I don't know, making it $5,000 because you haven't been paying taxes, and everybody's going to go, what? JFW didn't take taxes out? No, has nothing to do with us, you guys. That's we put you so you have the power to control your income on your taxes. You're the one that checked the box and said no more federal taxes. And the report, I'm pretty sure there was 10 people that Ann ran across. Ann and Joanne were going to try to contact the people and go, hey, is this correct? Do you know what you're doing here? And you guys, federal taxes. Everybody pays federal tax. There is no way to get out of federal taxes.
There's a few exemptions, like if you're blind.
Yeah.
I think if you're blind, you don't pay taxes.
Yeah, Dave, but
why didn't you see the notice?
Don't.
But yeah, everybody, so if you're And then the other thing too is I hope
You're dead.
death and taxes, right?
Right?
Right? You're gonna do it, man. You're gonna die, and you're gonna pay taxes.
Well, it kind of blows me away that you're not looking at your paycheck, and you're not going through your
That's-
deductions.
Yeah.
But we stumbled on this a year ago. We had two people, one that quit and gave notice, or gave notice and quit, and was like, it kind of came out he was borderline upset that we weren't taking taxes out, and it's like that's not up to us.
Right.
You sign up and fill everything out.
Yep.
So it's not up to us,
Yeah, it's actually none of our business,
right?
really.
Right.
But maybe you chose this. Maybe you need the cash and you're saving money, and at the end of the year, April 15th, you owe the government $10,000. Maybe that's your tax strategy. I don't know. I just know how hard it is to save money. And if you're saving for a tax bill, that is a tax strategy, because you're probably better with your money than the government is.
Right.
But that's a dangerous game to
Can
play.
you trust yourself?
Can you trust yourself?
Right. Are you putting that money away?
Right. Yeah. So take a look at your checks, and then the other thing is, there is a possibility that we're taking the wrong health insurance out, or you're not getting your eye or vision taken out, or maybe you got long term or short term. There's all sorts of different things that could be mistakes. Maybe and I know Paycom gives you option. Maybe you just had an addition like Tony did, and you want to claim more. So you can change that. But yeah, be proactive. Be an advocate for yourself when you're looking at your paycheck.
Maybe we haven't noticed, and the government is showing up and working 25% of their shift.
Oh, that's how that works. Yeah,
Could be.
covering it.
First thing you guys
Is the
might
government
want to
working
do.
25% of your shift?
No.
First thing you guys might want to do is go into Paycom and click on payroll on the payroll tab, and then review your last paycheck stub and see what your insurance costs were, what your withholdings were, and just review it. It will take less than 5 minutes.
Yep. So yeah, be an advocate for yourselves.
Be
You guys.
engaged.
Yeah, it's important.
Pay attention.
I see what you did there.
Dustin, what else you find?
I was distracted. What did you say?
I don't remember.
I was looking at my phone.
Dustin, what else you finding in the shop that drivers aren't catching?
The biggest thing was brakes and tires, but they've been missing a lot of oil changes lately. Because there's a sticker in the top left. Yeah. And I had a truck in 2 weeks ago, and it was $8,000 overdue. And I don't know, I would think it's kind of obvious, but if you guys don't know, it's on the top left, and if it's $1,000 away, write it up so we can get it done.
So it's the driver's responsibility to write up oil changes?
Well, no, because we do.
Yes.
Well, yes, and we catch them on shorts too, but if it gets close and you guys notice, please write it up.
Well, here's the kicker. The driver is in that truck every day for 10 to 12 hours a day, and he's looking out that windshield all day. So have a look at that oil change sticker on the top left of your windshield and keep track of the mileage. When it's 1,000 miles out, you need to make a note on the write-up sheet saying my truck is 1,000 miles out from oil change due.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything else, Dustin, about liners or cleaning out from under them, mud flaps? The stuff rubbing on the deck plates. You guys fix all that? You tell the drivers about it? You just ignoring the cords rubbing into, or what you doing?
So for the cords on the deck plate, we adjust it ourselves if we catch it. Well, I do. I know some people in the shop, they'll leave a note for the driver but I'll do it because I don't know, it kind of bothers me, and I know what'll happen if it just stays there all day and the wind catches it and it's rubbing all day. So I move that. The liners, are becoming an issue. Drivers aren't writing up holes, even if it's a little pinhole. at least write it up because I know it's going to get bigger. And I know I've been in trailers that I can tell haven't been swept out and there's holes in the liners, and it kind of bothers me. And I send emails to the safety guys every time I catch it, but it's been pretty good lately. But there's those rare occasions that I can tell no one's been back here. And mud flaps, I don't think we really do mud flaps a whole lot in the shop, but
That's good.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be driver's responsibility because guess who tore them off?
the drivers.
There you go.
We've been catching a lot of lights too,
Yeah.
like the marker lights in the front, the blinkers. A lot of them are white. If you guys need to change them if they're white, because John has told me like if they want to leave it white like that, they're gonna burn out, and it's usually the driver that's supposed to do it, but I do them because I know it's gonna go neglected. But if they're not yellow, please change them out because they're about to burn out.
So what do you think a lot of these problems are, Dustin? We talk in here all the time that we kind of have two issues with human beings, right? It's kind of human nature. Is it a skill problem that we didn't teach them, or is it a will problem and they're not doing it?
Laziness. Will problem.
There you go.
Because
and benefit of the doubt, Dustin, and we all get busy in our lives and we I gotta get the kids, I gotta get home for dinner, or whatever it might be, but it's still your job, and to be the best you can be, you have to do these things.
you got to make sure that truck is safe for the next day, and you won't have something wrong. And then, what if a tire goes flat overnight and you have to stay in the shop, or just something like that? Like, that's your money maker. You want to make sure at the end of the day, even the beginning of the day, you want to make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, that's the only thing is through the years, Dustin and Super Dave can attest to this. We used to not pay when you were broke down in the morning. If you had a flat and you missed it, you sit there with the truck and didn't make any money either, or if you had to have a light fixed or stuff like that. And through the years, we didn't think that was fair. There's some things that happen that you out of your control. I don't know. Let's say you started it up and an airbag blew out. You know what I mean? And you got to pull in the shop and have that repaired, which is very rare. But with the drivers anymore, we pay them to sit there. We're covering that cost, and it's not a big deal. I don't know if it means as much not to go trucking in the morning, because I'm like, okay, they'll fix the flat. I'm good, and I don't know.
Ruins my day. Like I don't feel successful for that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's me.
Yeah. I'd rather be trucking. I know Super Dave all those years. The goal is to get trucking. Jam, you ran the haul out of Craig for years. You had to get going.
Wow.
Otherwise you were late, or traffic, or a snowstorm, and
It would turn into a long day.
Yeah.
What happens.
One little thing goes, 15 minutes in the morning, it'll cost you hours.
right. Yeah. And I think that to some of the newer drivers, or some of the older drivers that have worked for other companies and come in here, and we have a certain way of doing stuff, and we have all of the guys in the shop at night to back you up. We have Joanne and the team upstairs and payroll and stuff. We have Jam and the safety guys. We have quite an organization to make you successful. The interview, we go over it and over it. The interview starting with Super Dave, the orientation with JR, the day with Ken and Casey over there, and then you're turned loose with a trainer. The stuff's extensive to make you successful. We just don't drop you on the island and go burn the boats. It's not done that way. We send taxis over to the island all day long, and then finally we let you go and burn the boats, so you're out on your own. But man, you guys, we gotta keep churning, and not that we're, here's the podcast for the whatever episode we're on, that we're talking about what we're not doing, and all we know to do, how to fix it, is keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times it's possible we have some drivers out there that just think, well, the shop will take care of it. I don't need to worry about it. They'll keep me in good tires and they'll keep me in good brakes.
And I think Dustin can just say, because he said, I don't really want to. I think there's a few mechanics who go, the driver will write it up. The driver will get it. When it's a team effort, and so it goes both ways. But you want to win the Super Bowl, takes every person.
Right. Takes a can do, not a can't do.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what's next. This is BD's favorite section. So right now, Coors is not going to be running Friday or Saturday this week.
Or Sunday.
They start back up on Sunday.
Monday.
What time?
It'll be Monday morning.
6 a.m.
I don't know that 6 a.m., but
Well,
probably won't have any loads till the evening.
Yeah, brewing at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
We will not see loads to the can until afternoon. We still do not have the Monday holiday schedule, but we have been told they will be running 2 to 4 lines. Then at half speed for the rest of the week, which we are guessing means 2 lines. Dispatch will keep everyone posted. The only one thing we know for sure is that the one thing we know for sure is that it always changes.
It does with Coors. That's
Yeah, what a shame that they have to be down this weekend and. Well, wait a minute. Never mind. No, this coming weekend is the holiday weekend, so
Yeah.
they will be down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the half speed, whatever, I think all that has so much to do with the part we don't see, and that's sales and distribution and what's in stock. And that must change drastically.
Not to mention they're rebuilding $1.5 billion facility that they use to
Right.
brew all their beer, and they're ready to pull that trigger. It sounds like between brewing in the old kettles to the new kettles, and how it's going to distribute to the can that we've loaded out for all these years, because they had to nix that test line.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We were supposed to load in a whole nother area out of a pipe that hasn't been used since
Yeah.
what, the 90s? Is that? Am I?
It was
did I hear that right?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god! And then like they can't shut it off. Like we need to have trucks in a line waiting there when they switch to that, and that's going to be temporary, but that'll be 24 hours a day. And
Oh, that was to fix the basement, Dave.
right.
That wasn't-
Thank you. Yeah.
And that was what, 3 weeks of trying to do that. They
Yeah.
thought they could get it done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hell of a project in 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
I got a question. Maybe you guys know. Is it Miller Coors or Molson Coors?
I drink Coors, Dave.
Because I know it used to be when we first started the account, I don't know, whatever, it's been 12 years now or whatever, but it was Miller Coors. But then a big thing in the news and everything that Molson and Coors merged. And so I'm it's just curious, I guess. Been thinking about it for
it's
quite
a great
while.
question, and I know we always say Coors, but we work for Wilbur Ellis.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's who has
And
the contract.
you know, it's funny too. I tell everybody that's the biggest company you've never heard of. They have over 100,000 employees worldwide.
Yep.
They are a leader in feed marketing.
Yep.
They
Who
even
is
have-
that? Yeah.
They even have salmon farms.
Yeah,
or
Dave.
feed salmon fisheries.
Crazy.
Yeah, so true.
Dustin Courier brought to my attention the other day, he actually pointed out the slowest speed limit going through Wheat Ridge. There was an article in 9 News did, and they had the owners of CDL 303, a truck driving school, on that piece. These guys, they were talking about speed limits. They were doing a safety piece. They believe there needs to be more mountain training for drivers, and who wouldn't agree with that? They actually have part of their business model is it's corporate business to business mountain driving training. So they go into, I would imagine, bigger companies and, train their folks on how to be safe up in the mountains. So we're hoping, I am talking to one of the owners back and forth now, and we're hoping to have them on the podcast here coming up in the near future. We'll see.
Yeah, Jan, when you told me about that, not the theory, but their business model of coming in and training drivers for mountain experience only, I thought, what a great idea. Who couldn't use that?
That's a unique selling proposition there. That's
because our mountains are mountains.
And here we are sitting here complaining about brakes and engine use.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, they're Yeah, but I'm not sure we're getting all that breakware in the mountains, though. You know, Dave.
Absolutely, yeah, Jim.
We're getting it on Highway 85.
Flat landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of a cool announcement. Gabe Colmenaro's wife, Yaneli, she's going to be selling burritos outside the gate at Yard 23. This is going to start this Friday, and they're planning on doing it every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, except this Monday because of the holiday. She's going to make two kinds. You're going to have an egg potato and bacon or egg potato and chorizo. She will also have sodas and bottled water. Cash is preferred, but if needed, they'll take Venmo, Apple Pay, and Zelle. I got a problem with this. All I see is Yard 23.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
where,
there 25 or what are we up to? 30 trucks over there?
Yeah.
What's the deal? There's 75 over
yeah,
there.
there's a problem with that business model. You guys want to make money or not? Come to the main yard. Shout out to Dustin for bringing some Santiagos this morning.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
for
Thank you,
thinking
Dustin.
about me and getting some mild. Man,
Yeah.
those half and halves, they get me every time.
Yeah, that's awesome that she's gonna help everybody out over there and
Yeah.
supply some breakfast and stuff. And hey, you guys, do me a favor. And I understand she said cash and Venmo, Apple Pay, and Zelle. There is no credit. You guys don't do credit with her, or just because Gabe or something. Pay for the burritos. And I mean, I'm speaking from experience. We've had to go in for certain drivers that, he works for JFW, we'll give him credit, and we didn't think it was right, and we've had to clean up some breakfast bills, some lunch bills through the years.
Really?
And the food truck up at Fry's, I don't think it's the same person or they're even up there, but it was like $150, and they finally contacted us and said, hey, can you get this driver? And we just took care of it. And then when I was down this weekend to the BMW golf tournament, when I went through Lavier's right there, there's the restaurant on the side of just past the light, and one of our old drivers, Animal, he'd go in there and have breakfast, and he ran up a tab, and they called us, and we took care of that at the restaurant.
I need to try that.
Right? I was like, who gives them credit when they're
Right.
like, well, we know it was a JFW driver, and that's neat, but that's not fair. So just because it's Gabe or his wife, and don't do credit, you guys pay.
Yep. And then everybody keep in mind the Brandon Car Show is Saturday. If you're a contestant in it, it starts at 7:30. You have to have your cars there at 7:30. It goes till noon. So if anybody wants to go see some cool cars, Brandon having their car show Saturday.
Yeah. Plus, we got George, Rick Ray, Ricardo Christensen. They're all entering their motorcycles or cars. And then
Nice.
Rick Ray's got like 4 buddies
Nice.
that are.
We're in need of someone to take a truck over. They asked for us to bring a truck over. So if anyone is interested in bringing a truck over, Dustin,
Volunteer right there.
all right, you can have it there at 7:30 Saturday. Mm-hmm. It'll be the brand new truck sitting there in the bay.
It'll be there.
It's an automatic.
Awesome.
Well, I'm talking Dustin into driving a super dump because he wants to drive a manual. I'm like, all right.
There you go.
105, 106, 107.
Yep.
It's always funny, Dave, and I mean it just like when we went and test drove those trucks, and I know we told the story when Dave and Mike climb in the cab, all three of us are on that in the seat there in the bench seat, and I'm trying to get that last gear, and I'm like, Mike, you got to move your knee, man. We got that's got to go there, and he's like, I am moving it.
Oh,
He kept telling
man.
me to scoot over. I'm like, I don't even have the door closed. Then the salesman ran up. He's like, I got to get a picture of this.
Yeah.
And then just keep in mind, Monday is Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Already.
yep. End of the summer. End of summer celebration.
That's
lots
it.
of picnics, lots
Have
of
you-
barbecues,
have you
lots
been-
of good stuff.
Shopping? Have you been to Home Depot? Have you been to the stores?
And remember,
Skeletons, pumpkins, everything.
Yeah. Halloween is over already,
Right?
right, Dave?
yeah, I think you can't wear white after Monday, right? Gotta wait till Memorial
I'll try
Day.
and remember that.
Well, can't wear this shirt anymore.
What a stupid rule. Whoever came up with that.
The
Speaking
good
of,
news is you remember it.
I mean, I don't comply, but
what is? I mean, here I'm going to open the door on politicalness, but did the
politics?
CEO of Lowe's tell somebody that we're going to be woke or we're going to do something. If you don't like the way it is here, go to Home Depot.
Sweet. Home Depot it
Did
is.
you guys hear that last
No, I
week,
hadn't heard that.
or vice versa?
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet
heard
Lowe's.
that.
Here it comes.
yeah. There was some statement about that. I don't know. I think it had to do with. I'll have to look it up. I don't want to fact check. I don't want to.
I know United made the announcement. It's been 2 months ago. They wanted to increase their DEI, their diversity, equity and inclusion, right? And they were going to start with their pilots. So they were more interested in.
Is this a joke?
No, dead serious.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting for
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
What would be the number one thing you want in a pilot? The qualification you want in a pilot?
Vision?
No, a good one.
Don't you want to be able to land the plane?
Yeah.
Fly the plane?
Sure.
That's what I want. I don't give a shit what DEI he's got.
Right.
I don't care whether he's invited in the club or he has equity or he's diverse. I want a qualified pilot, right? Lives are at stake. And they're concerned about their DEI.
Huh.
Yeah.
Lives are at stake.
Right.
Number one, you want a safe pilot. Number freaking one.
Right.
Did you hear about that pilot that tried to shut off both engines because
Is this a joke?
No, he was grieving over the loss of the death of a friend, and he was freaking out. I think he was Alaska Airlines.
Well, the joke is always Spirit, because they're the worst.
Well, I think he spent I want to say a year in jail, and he just got out. It was in the news.
Wow, Dave. No,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
and the other pilot, I think there was 3 of them in the cockpit. They stopped him, but he was reaching up to shut the engines down at 35,000 feet
Don't need these. Turn those back on.
because he was depressed.
Yeah,
And there was 160 people on the plane.
Shit, he could have just took FAMLI. He didn't need to try to kill everybody.
right. Yeah.
Not if he's not based in Colorado.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
you never know who's flying your plane, Dave.
Right.
That's
right.
what scares me.
Yeah.
I want the best qualified pilot. That's my biggest concern.
Yep.
Yep.
Same with truck drivers.
Don't care what you
Exactly, Jim.
are. Best qualified.
Here's some tips and tricks from Ray Davis. Take the time to clean your mirrors, lights, and windshield. Unquestionably, eyesight is the most important job of a professional driver's senses. Not only does a driver need the ability to see the others, but also to determine distance, estimate speed, and make split-second decisions that can have life or death consequences and reduce the risk of an accident. Take the time to clean your lights, mirrors, and windows, change your wiper blades, and if needed, these are all part of the job and should be done daily. Before leaving the yard, make sure all mirrors are adjusted correctly so you can see in all mirrors. Also, remember a shirt, blanket, or high-vis vest is not a good sunshade while driving and will block your visibility
Excellent
and will
point.
get you pulled over. Yeah, I got a big problem with that. I got into an argument with a driver here because he was using his safety vest as a sunshade. Just drape right down the driver's... Yeah. Also, make sure your dash is clear of items that could be blocking the mirrors. Hope all is well with the JFW family, friends, and listeners. Remember, safety has no blind spots. Look and lean, sit up in your stool. Don't be a fool. Much love and respect always. The Black Sheep, Ray Ray, 0013.
That was a good one, Ray Ray. Good
Yeah,
job.
always
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, Ray. Hey, I want to back up though, Jim, for
Do
the
it.
3-day weekend.
Yeah,
What happens Friday and Tuesday?
you got to show up to work if you want to get holiday pay. If you call out if you call out Friday or Tuesday, you will not get your holiday pay. Now, the big question is, well, what if I had a scheduled day off? Because I've had that question this week. If it's scheduled,
It's
you're
scheduled.
good. Yep. If you call out, it's bad. JR just sent me a message. Unfortunately, we just had an accident up on 285. So JR says, remind everyone about speeds and traffic on Highway 285. So we'll get more information on that. Doesn't sound like it was very serious, but still not good.
Yep.
And then let's see, Soup, you want to hit us with that high road hauling?
Absolutely. I think a great topic that is something everybody can think about. Everybody sets goals, has projects, has great ideas, and sometimes these things stall on people. And this high road hauling today is something that's going to be helpful to you for pushing through and completing those projects or progressing with an idea. So the title is Progress, Not Perfection. Have you ever had a great idea, the kind you can't stop thinking about, and after a few days, weeks, or years, it's still just an idea? Have you ever created something that you wanted to share, but you haven't because you just aren't sure of yourself? Or you don't think your idea is ready for prime time? You keep thinking about it and tweaking the idea and trying to get it just right. Well, if you wait to get it perfect, you'll never get it out there. Having high standards is outstanding and something to be proud of. But progress, not perfection, is a mantra to get shit done. Perfectionism will kill your dreams. It's the one thing that separates winners from wannabes. If you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you have launched too late. And that was said by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. Focusing on progress doesn't mean your work will eventually be perfect. You might even laugh at your first rendition of your idea, but that's what real progress looks like. Why not strive for perfection? After all, don't we all want to be the best? Well, striving for excellence and striving for perfection are two different things. Perfection is an illusion. If you chase a rainbow, you will never find the pot of gold. Our idea isn't good enough, or their idea is better than mine, or I just wait because I have to work on my idea to make it better. This is the story we tell ourselves that stops us from doing good in the world. Maybe we tell ourselves if we can't be perfect, why even try? But no one can be perfect because perfection doesn't exist. Your perception is a manifestation of procrastination and the fear of being judged. Since you'll never reach perfection you're aiming for, you never have to take the next step, like actually sharing something with the world. To be clear, prioritizing progress doesn't mean lowering your standards or not even trying at all. Striving for progress over perfection means being relentless about learning, growing, evolving, and improving. You can't do that if you never get anything done. Always work hard and put your best effort in, but don't think you have to be perfect. Many of us give up on our dreams when we see someone we admire already crushing it. We don't believe we'll ever be as good as they are. That's a classic case of perfection paralysis. You're not going to be Eric Clapton after your first guitar lesson or Beyonce after your first open mic. It's great to admire others' work, but it's absolutely amazing to dream big and work hard at every goal you set. But to get anywhere, you have to start right where you are. You have to be willing to start small and sucky, which I thought was funny. Remember, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Do something new. Do your best to deliver your value to yourself and others. It will give you the courage to keep your idea going. Don't be afraid of the next step because there is only one way forward, and that is up. The greatest barrier to achieving your dreams, sharing your talents, and making your deepest contribution to the world is when you believe that critical voice in your head, the one that says, it's not good enough, I'm not good enough, or they are better than me. And the quote this week, you are loved just for being who you are. You don't have to do anything to earn it. Your shortcomings, your lack of self-esteem, physical perfection, or social and economic success, none of that matters. No one can take this love away from you, and it will always be here. Spoken by Ram Dass. He was an American spiritual teacher who lived from 1931 to 2019. He wrote a best-selling book in 1971 titled Be Here Now. Some reviewers called it seminal. He was credited with popularizing Eastern spirituality and yoga in the West. So that's who Ram Dass was. But good info for people that are stalling to complete their ideas and getting it finished up and getting it out there.
Yeah. I thought for sure Ram Dass would have to have something to do with computers, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, Ram and Dass.
Ram Dass. DASS.
Right?
But it struck me as a good article because so many people are concerned with what the other person's doing. and they say, well, that's already been done, or that's already been, invented, or whatever. But you shouldn't let that stop you.
I mean, look at us, Dave. Everybody trucks, and it's been done so many different ways. But we keep doing it a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit with a little bit more passion, and look at the success. I mean, trucking is the same thing. Look at out in the shop. Look at the different tweaks we've made. I heard Dustin, when we started the podcast here about the super dumps. Oh, they're a pain in the ass. And I wanted to joke with him on like, what, they don't have tires and brakes? They're different?
Right. You are talking about being relentless, about learning, growing, evolving, and improving.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, and if you don't, at any age, if you're not doing that, at any point you're not doing that, in your relationship and in being personal, it's like, fighting with your weight, and all that is a decision is eat tiny bit different. Maybe walk for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? That'll make a world of difference. Is that difficult? Absolutely. I mean, it's. I mean, it's something else. Yeah, the challenges we face.
Oh yeah. Final thoughts, everyone.
Is the age for you?
That's for me. Yeah.
For you? Okay.
That's my final thought.
On age?
Yeah.
That's a bucket we're all in lately.
It's an acronym. It's not actually about age.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess mine's kind of a like a high rolled Holland Super Dave.
Great.
But it's just listening to phone calls around here and listening to some of the drivers and even in the stuff I handle and things. A lot of times I feel that when you're asked a question, you start off with all the things you can't do, not what we can do. I mean, we have that haul going to, start out of Utah there with Envirotech, and, there's been some rumors about not wanting to spend the night with somebody or in a hotel, or what about the weather and all this other stuff. But that's all the things we can't do. It's not the things we can do. Like, everybody will have steady work all winter long. Everybody's like, well, we're not hauling anything up there. You're getting paid to drive up there empty. It's all in the haul price. And the exposure that it's going to give us in that corridor, it doesn't mean that if we're not doing a good job and you see us every day, that we don't get a phone call from somebody and put loads together. It's the what if, and it's being positive about the job that's ahead of us. That's what you need to do. It's not like, I don't know, in relationships to stuff.
I don't want to ruin your last thoughts, Jim, but I have to jump in because we're too close on this one, because I'm sitting here with our frickin' creed in front of us, and what's the first line in our creed?
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us.
Goddamn right we do.
Yeah.
That's what we have always done. That's what we will always do. The people that can't do that, you're in the wrong club. Mm-hmm. If you can't do these things, you're in the wrong club. You can't have the can't do mindset. If you're in a friend group that has the can't do mindset, you need to figure it out and figure out how to find a new group of friends that have the can-do mindset. Because you're not going to go anywhere in the can't-do. You're going to go everywhere in the can-do.
They got problems for solutions.
Exactly, Jim. There's no fix for those people.
Right.
Right? They can't do it. There's no
They're
fix
right.
for it.
They're right.
We're going to goddamn well go do it. It's going to happen. And I tell you what, Jim, you know what that exposure has gotten us already? I have a phone call after the podcast on work in Grand Junction already.
That's
Bam.
I mean, that's the... People just look at like right now, and it's all about me,
right.
and it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not a vision
right.
of what it could bring everybody.
Yeah.
We go ahead. No.
So when are we going to open the Grand Junction office?
Well,
Dave, when can you and Jackie move?
Yeah.
Well, if you ask me, right away. If you ask her, never.
Come on, Jackie.
Bring the grandkids with you. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave. If you're on a roll.
It's just hard to swallow. We talk about it all the time. Last year Dave brought up we were alternating days for who worked.
I know.
Trucks like 1 through 50 was off on Monday, while trucks 51 through 100 worked, right?
Yep.
And vice versa the next day. what does that do to your income for your PTO days, for your holiday pay, for your vacation pay?
Sucks.
It lowers it dramatically versus working
Right.
and making hundreds of dollars a day.
Right.
Right? And I guess I just hear it and man, I get passionate because I've had to live my life with can do. I'm not going to go anywhere in my life with can't do.
And
And that freaking life coach we brought in, Mick Walker, he talked to us and talked to us and talked to us. And when he came up with the first line of our creed, he tagged it. It took him months of speaking with us. And he's like, there's nothing you guys can't do. And he goes, together you face and overcome all that stands before us. Goddamn right. That's how it is. If you're not living your life that way, you're not living life. If you're not living your life with challenges, you're not living your life. If you're just sitting back going, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. They can't do that. What are you going to do? Blah, 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 blah. Get off the bucket, man. Go to work. Get it done. And you're going to feel great at the end of the day with that attitude versus I can't do it.
Yep. Yeah. Because you think about, oh, we're going to have the winter, we're going to have that. Hey, I understand when it's wintertime, no fuel ever gets up to any place in the mountains.
Yeah.
There's no food.
I hear they starve because there's no food, right?
There's no food, yeah.
How does that stuff get up there?
How do the rest of the drivers all winter long haul fuel, haul food, haul all this stuff, and we can't?
I think the Russians drop it by air.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
poisoned.
Yeah, my first truck driving job in Colorado was delivering all the ski resorts.
We
in the wintertime with a 48-footer. So,
Yeah.
Jam, we bragged about you and, no, I can't even think of his name.
Randy and Bill.
Randy and Bill. Every day you ran to Steamboat to Craig.
Craig.
You didn't get up and go, oh, weather, Jim, I can't go. You ran every day, all winter long. Rabbit Ears Pass.
You didn't even look at the weather because guess what? You were going.
Yeah, it's snowing. We got chains, we got gloves, we got coveralls. Let's
Right.
roll.
I mean,
Right.
because that was a steady winter job, right?
It's one of the snowiest passes in the whole state.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So let me just read this right quick, you guys. If your life is everything you dreamed of, everything you dreamed it would be, or you're giving, geez, I messed all that up. Let me start over again. If your life is everything you dreamed it would be, or is giving you more than you could hope for, then congratulations. There's no point in reading any further, although I might tell you to dream bigger. Got to change pages here. However, I'd be willing to bet there's at least one part of your life you'd like to change or improve. But if you might not know how, maybe you know what to do, but you don't have the energy or the motivation even to start. Or perhaps you say to yourself, well, it's not really that bad, so I can live with it. Others are worse off, so it's okay. What's preventing you from living the life you dream of living? For most people, it's fear of changing, fear of giving up on things, fear of failure. As a result, the first obstacle they encounter stops them in their tracks. But the biggest reason so few of us are not living the dream is simply the result of how we see the world. That is the single biggest determinant of how we live our lives. And that's exactly what we're talking about. If you're going to live it that I can't, it's going to be I can't life. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, gotta concentrate on when you answer the phone or have a problem. If you concentrate more on what I can do, you'll be so much farther ahead.
You'd be successful.
So I'm going to piggyback on your guys' final thoughts. High Road Hollins. Sorry. You need to copyright that. Anyway, myself, JR, and Casey went to Red Rocks Church, had their first annual men's conference last week, and the name of the conference was Stay in the Fight. It was really good, and they had this guy named Mark Montoya. He's a head coach and owner of Factory X, which is a mixed martial arts gym out of Inglewood. He's got some fighters that made it to the UFC, pretty well-known coach. Supposed to be a Hall of Famer coach. But anyway, they did an interview with this guy, and one of the things that he tells his driver is this AGE acronym. And the AGE acronym, there's 3 things that you control. Number 1 is your attitude. Number 2 is your gratitude. And number 3 is your effort, right? So if you have a good attitude and you're thankful that things that you have, and you put in a valiant effort, it's going to be life-changing for you. So just remember AGE, attitude, gratitude, and effort.
I like it.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yep. Dustin, do you got any final thoughts?
Just do your post and pre-trip.
Profound words from Dustin
Yes.
Romero Jr.
That's genius.
Yes.
Right there.
Man, we should have a program for people to do that.
That is so true. Thanks.
Soup, you got anything else?
Yeah, keep your eyes on the road, your head on a swivel, and stay off of your phone.
Love it.
I was going to say, put your phone in your lunchbox.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of dealing with the phones. I mean, I see a couple of emails during this podcast. It's freaking unbelievable.
On phone usage?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Unbelievable. It
sounds
is.
like we got some work to go do. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the Channel 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to go back and listen to episode 72 to help find Amber's mom. Links to her story will be in today's show notes. Oh, we got one more thing.
I was kind of waiting just to the end to hold this because I know the shout outs and stuff, but since we finished this with Amber's mom and we'll continue to look for her, but Amber is leaving us. This is her last week, and I just wanted to give Amber a shout out. I was saving it to the end here. Is thank you. You're a fantastic person, a fantastic employee, and a teammate, and we wish you the best. The door here is always open. She's having to leave us to because of some babysitting problems with her kids, and we just can't work it out with her. So she's going to go back to police dispatching at night,
Nice.
which is basically thank you for your service, because that's kind of a thankless
Honorable
job.
work.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. So, thanks, Amber, for all your time here, and wish you the best. And we will continue to look and find your mom. It will happen someday.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. Let's say the creed and get on out.
Sounds good.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us.
Together we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve.
Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work.
Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody. Talk to you
Thanks,
next
everybody.
week.
Be safe. No cell phones.
Stay off the phone.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down. and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.